Welcome back to the 628 Dirt Rooster channel, where hobby beekeeping is a way of life. Earlier this week I posted a little teaser on Facebook and Instagram about a blow up that a tenant had on me, and I didn't say much, but a lot of people wanted to hear about the story. So here's the story. Starts out kind of, ending's pretty good, so if you want to stick around, here it is. About 2 weeks ago, I went to this apartment complex and scoped out where this hive was in this complex. So it's in the floor frame in between the second and third floor. Got a good read on it with the FLIR. I said, all right, I'll email you back with a good date and time. I'm booked up for 2 weeks, so it'll be at least 2 weeks before I get here. All right, fine, no problem. A week ahead of time, I emailed and I said, hey, I can be there on Tuesday the 23rd, and I get an automated response back in the email that the manager is out of the office until the 24th. And nobody else ever responded, nobody confirmed. She had to be there to set me up as a vendor in the system, so I couldn't even do the work without being set up as a vendor, so no sense in showing up. 23rd, I get a call anyway. On about 11:30, one of the rental managers called and said, hey, are you coming? I said, no, nobody ever confirmed. I don't have a date. I said, I can come tomorrow though. And she said, okay, well, I'll let the tenant know and we'll see you tomorrow. So, okay, good. So 24th rolls around. I call on the way and I said, hey, I'll be there in about 45 minutes. And they said, okay, we'll let the tenant know. So I get there on time, but then I spend about 30 minutes in the office filling out paperwork so I can work at this property. That gets done. John, the maintenance guy, and I go around there. He knocks on the door. We're met by the tenant's mother, who has an attitude. And she says, you're supposed to be here yesterday. We've had to take time off of work. And I said, well, I don't know anything about that. I didn't have an appointment for yesterday. We're here today. We're fixing to get it done. So I bypass her and I go on in the bedroom and start setting tools down. And I hear her in there mouthing at John. And, he's got bosses on the property he's got to answer to. So he's, yes ma'am, we're sorry, yes ma'am. Like, whatever, John, I'm not sorry. I'm going to set up and get to work. He comes in there and he says, what do we need to do? I said, well, we got to clean this closet out because I got to work in this closet ceiling. So while I'm headed back to the truck to get more tools and equipment, he cleans the closet out. I assume he does. I wasn't there, so I'm thinking maybe him and the mother moved everything. And I get back up there and he's trying to take the shelves out. So I help him take the shelves out and we get set up. I mask off everything. And about this time, the door busts open and the tenant, this millennial young lady who has too many shoes and thinks she's a little higher than everybody. She comes high-speed trotting in there and sticks her head around the closet where I'm hanging plastic and says, where's my stuff? And I said, I don't know. Talk to your mom and John. I didn't touch anything. Like the B guy's gonna come in there and steal all her shoes and dresses. And so she looks around the room, sees her stuff, mouths at John a little bit, and then she comes back over to me and starts up with the, you were supposed to be here yesterday. And I said, no ma'am, I wasn't supposed to be here yesterday. I was scheduled for today. I said, I tried to schedule for yesterday, nobody got back with me. I'm here today. And she says, and you're late today. I'm thinking, I don't even work for you. I don't even, you didn't hire me. You're not paying me, get out of my way, was what was going through my head. But I'm thinking, she's being kind of cocky, but maybe she's joking. So I said, well, I was here on time, had to sit up front and fill out paperwork. I'm here now, we're fixing to get going on this. And she says, you get your job done and get out of here. And at this point, I'm like, she's gotta be joking. So I just laughed. I said, okay. We'll get our job done and get out of here. And that's about how I said it. Well, that just flew all over her. And she mockingly laughed back at me and said, you get your job done and get out of here, and screams in my face that. And I was like, well, she ain't joking. I said, excuse me? She hollered it again in my face. And I said, tell you what. And John just standing there with his mouth open like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what's going on here. Tell you what, how about I just get out of here? And I start picking up my tools, and her mom's standing there like, oh, this guy's not gonna be a pushover. So her mom's grabbing her by the arm, dragging her in the living room, and she gets her out, shuts the door, And me and John are just standing there looking at each other, and I'm going, I don't think I'm gonna do this one, John. And he says, man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what's wrong with her. So I stood there just fuming for about 3 minutes, and I said, you know, I think I'm just gonna go out there and talk to him. So I go out in the living room. There's a living room kitchen combination. They're sitting at a little breakfast table type in the living room, opening Whataburger, and I'm thinking, you know, you got some kind of nerve come in there and mouth off somebody like that and then come in there and sit down and have a meal, because if I was that mad at somebody, I'm not sitting down to eat. I'm gonna be outside cooling off. But she's sitting down to eat, and I walked over to the table and I said, let me tell you something. Now this gets lighter in the end, so stick with me. I said, let me tell you something. Don't you talk to me like that. I said, I don't work for you. You didn't hire me. So I'm here to do a job. I ain't here to put up with you. You need to stay out here and stay out of my business, stay out of my way, and I'll get this job done. I said, and for your information, I'll be here a while. This is gonna take several hours. And she says, hours? I said, what do you think, I'm gonna magically suck the bees through the sheetrock? I said, I gotta cut that ceiling out and cut a whole hive out of that ceiling. And then I gotta clean up after myself. I said, this is gonna take a while. So you just stay out of my way. At this point, she realizes she's lost. The mom's over there stuffing a burger in her mouth like, if I got a mouthful of food, I don't have to defend her. And she's in an effort to kind of regain the upper hand. She says, well, who do you work for? Who's your boss? And I said, you're looking at him. I said, if you got any complaints, you go ahead and air them now. And so she shut up, and I said, if you got problems, you need to talk to management. I said, they're the ones that hired me. And I said, otherwise, stay out of my way. So I go back in there. I'm smoldering hot at this point, but I said, let's get it done, John. John says, okay, whatever you need. I said, man, you ain't got to work. And he said, well, I ain't got nothing else to do. I'm up here with you till you're done. I said, I'm glad you're here, because I wouldn't have wanted to be here by myself for that. So John, great guy, hung in there and helped me with the removal, handed me stuff, because he wasn't really up in there. There's no room, because this closet's like 2'8" or 2'10" deep. It's a fairly narrow closet, by about 7 foot by 9 foot. I got a little ladder wedged up in there, and I'm kind of right foot on the ladder, left foot against the wall to hold me up in there, kind of, you know, rock climber-ish, with a cutout bucket on my chest. And between cutting combs, I'd slide the bucket up in the framing and grab the vac hose and vac bees, and I'm just kind of, you know, contortionist, working up in this little hole. After I had gotten the hive exposed and John had taken some pictures, he goes out and shows them pictures of what was in their ceiling. Well, at this point, I'm their best friend, so they're gonna come back in there and make nice and want to see. So John had already come back in there. A couple minutes later, I hear the door open. I hear them two come in, and I look down under the doorway to see who it is, and I just see bare feet come in. I'm like, oh. She goes, hey, can we see? And I said, no, you already saw on the camera. I said, matter of fact, you're barefooted, get on out of here. I said, don't come back in here without shoes on. I'm removing a beehive, if you don't understand that. I didn't hear from him again for an hour and a half or so. And she comes and pokes her head back in the door again and says, hey, I gotta leave for work again. And I said, all right, have a nice day. She leaves, we finish the job. Beautiful hive, really nice bees, very docile, but I got because of the tight space and I'm all up against the wall and all this, I got stung bottom of the arm and in the armpit probably 20 times, and you know, back of the neck, forearms and stuff, another 15 or so. Got the hive out. Good job, you know, get the ceiling back up, get everything closed off. I leave and go up front to tell management. I get around front, I'm telling the management, we're done, I'm wrapping it up, going home. I send you an invoice. And I've got a trash comb bucket. If you ever done a cutout, you know there's trash comb that you can't use, you can't frame it up. I knew where the hive was, but I didn't want to make any mistakes, so I wanted to locate it for sure, 100% at first. So I drilled a hole about that big around. I used a fiberglass rod to go up in there and try to probe for wax or honey or anything. and I was just hitting cross brace, and I had a 2x4 laid on the side, and that rod was just hitting that 2x4 and riding up it, but it was pushing insulation up into the combs. There was new combs built kind of half into that 2x4, so it was jamming insulation up into some of that fresh comb. And so when I get around to the main office, that trash bucket's sitting right on the back of my truck with brood comb that I couldn't frame. Some of it had pollen and a little bit of brood and some insulation mashed in it and stuff. And one of these maintenance guys, who I guess in an effort to show us how knowledgeable he was about beehives and how he knew you could eat beehives and stuff, I see him out of the corner of my eye go over to my trash comb bucket, and he just rips off a piece. It's like he's tearing off the corner of a block of Cannonball Chew or something. He just rips it off, and I saw what he got. I was like, I ain't saying nothing. He throws it in his mouth and he goes, and I could see the old eye winking. He's chewing on it. He starts sucking it out of his teeth, picking at his teeth and spitting. he goes, yeah, I like the kind with honey in it better. I said, yeah, me too. So I dug out, in your trash cone, there's always going to be a clean piece of honey somewhere. So I dug it out and I cut a little piece of honey. I said, here's what you were looking for. And he took, yeah, that's the good stuff. I was like, yeah, that is the good stuff. But that just lightened the whole mood for me for the rest of the day. I was like, this dude, after all that, I got a guy come along and eat my garbage to take me out of that headspace I was in. And that's pretty much the story. Hope you enjoyed it.
What is that?
I don't really know. You know, if you could sort of muscle your way past the gag reflex.
It's like somebody's been nosing where they shouldn't have been. Yep, you're retarded. There's one. Let me have the other one. Come here, come here, come here. Cat. Come on. Come on, kitty. Come on. How stuck are you? Not bad.